Hello, everybody. How's it going? So that way y'all can hear me a little bit better. So bear with me just a moment while I do that. Yay! That's comic makers here too. So I get the chance to do some drawing today, and just a little bit later, once I get close, finish with the drawing, then I will talk to you guys about the comment contest. Last year, I got the chance to do a sketchbook for my Inktober, and so that was my prize for anyone who was willing to get in. There you go. Hope y'all can hear me a little bit better now. Anyway, we'll talk about the prize for the comment contest. So, of course, I've gotten up, loaded a week's worth of videos already from the 1st to the 6th. And so on those videos, you can go back and comment on those, and I will discuss the comment information as we go. So I'm going to start. This one's going to be a color one, guys. I'm going to color this picture and try to use my markers. This isn't something I normally do because I normally don't do the markers. I normally will go in and do color. I'll normally do my black and whites, but this one I decided I wanted to try something a little bit different today. So, because with Joker, you kind of have to have color there. He's literally a very colorful individual, so you just have to have color in the thing there. So, you'll have to forgive me if my marker skills aren't the best in the world. So, trying to go in and do some things. By the way, Jingles, I have been missing your live streams. I think you're doing them like on Fridays. And I don't get off of work till 10:30, so unfortunately I don't get to catch them. I wouldn't call it unfairly good. I think she's just great. She's just done it a while, so she knows how to do the markers a lot better. And that's nothing wrong with that at all. That's very, I've always heard it said that practice doesn't make perfect, practice just makes you better at something. And as comic maker is definitely awesome with her marker skills and such. Hello, Mammoth Rock. How's it going? Glad to see you. So yeah, today I'm doing some marker work for the Joker. So glad you guys are hanging out with me today. It's awesome. I've got playing in the background. Of course, I don't have the audio up because I don't want the WWE gods to come after me. But Hell in a Cell is coming up in a little bit, so I'll be watching that once I'm done with this stream. So that's why I wanted to do it at 6. That way I'd have the time to actually go in and get that going before, that started. I didn't want to be like, trying to rush it. But at the same time, I wanted to be able to get in there and watch it and see the different craziness that's going to happen in Hell in a Cell. A lot of people may or may not know I've been a wrestling fan for years, and so Hell in a Cell is probably one of my favorite pay-per-views, just because of the premise that, hey, you're in a cell with these people and you can't leave, and then they have to go do stuff. So that's kind of the idea of Hell in a Cell. There is that a lot of times it's either to keep people in or it's to keep people out. So. Okay, well that's cool. I appreciate that, Jingles. Y'all open it up on stream. So, okay. Well, I mean, if you just get me the link or whatever, then I'll watch it if you already did it. So, however it rolls. So yeah, speaking of videos I just watched S Comic Makers earlier today. I watched S Comic Makers video on the emoji challenge, which he took different emojis and created stuff and left some comments on there, because I always want to try to, support my artists that I love and enjoy. So whenever I get the chance to see their stuff, I always want to make sure to do that. Well, the thing about it is, if for some reason, take care as comic makers. Good seeing you. Thank you for stopping by. I greatly appreciate it. If you're having problems, Mammoth Rock, watching the stream, of course, this will still be uploaded, so you can always go back and watch it afterwards. So, but I appreciate you getting in. So, I mean, if you can stay, you can stay. I understand it. If you don't, there's no crime in that. I understand what it's like sometimes trying to do stuff and technology doesn't work with you. There'll be times where I'll be trying to stream and stuff won't work right. So, I understand that. So, S Comic Maker's gone. But that's okay. That's awesome. I'm glad she was able to stop by. That was really neat. So, it's always good. Just trying to work and getting the hair in there. Really trying to get some volume in it. So it's not just like, hey, look, flat color hair. Not a big fan of flat colors. So I prefer to make sure there's some dimension in it. Has anybody seen the Joker movie yet? I've not seen it yet. So, I mean, if you say something about it, I'm not going to feel like it's a spoiler. But please respect the rights of those who come in and haven't seen the movie and want to see the film. So I just put that out there. If people have seen it, just don't be spoilery about it. Please be respectful. And of course, if everybody in here is like, we've all seen the movie except for Will, then it's like, well, then if you want to talk about it, you can. I'm not gonna lose my mind if you do. So yeah, the movie came out. I think it dropped Tuesday. Like, it dropped on a weird day. Like, it didn't drop the normal, Friday movie schedule. I think it dropped like Tuesday of last week. So, I hope it's good. I really do. I hope it's going to be awesome. Because I really don't mind seeing a movie where they're not just dealing with I want to see a movie where they're not just dealing with the character, but they're kind of showing the why behind the character. I always like those kind of origin stories. So, I think that's really cool to see. So, anytime they could recreate something. Somebody at work the other day was saying, they were like, well, I just don't like the fact that they feel like they can recreate the character. I'm like, well, ever since Nicholson, of course, Nicholson played the role. Then, we had Ledger played a role. Of course, my favorite Joker is probably Hamill from Batman the Animated Series. That's my favorite version of the Joker because the voice just works. Everything about Hamill's version just fits so well. And so when I see that version or when I hear that version, it's really neat. DC has had some disappointing movies, jingles, but I will tell you this much. Shazam, I thought was excellent compared to what I thought it would be. I didn't know how well they would handle Shazam, and they did a really good job by it. So Shazam was really good. I loved Aquaman. Of course, I loved my favorite DC movie that they've done, really, to be honest, is Aquaman. That's hard because I loved Wonder Woman too, but it was something about Aquaman. They took a character. First of all, they took a character that I would have laughed at you like a year or two ago. If you had told me, hey, they're gonna do an Aquaman movie, I'd have been like, you're kidding me, right? Like, are you serious? But they were serious, and not only that, but it was really good. And so I'm glad they did it the way they did it. So. That said, because for so long Aquaman was the biggest joke, in just Super Friends and stuff. Aquaman was the one. They'd be like, okay, here's this plan. We're gonna send Batman. He's gonna get his jet. He's gonna go do this. We're sending Superman. He's gonna fly over, and then we're gonna have Wonder Woman do her thing on her jet, and then she's gonna drop Aquaman off. And if there's water nearby, then Aquaman can do stuff. So I really didn't understand the whole mythos behind Aquaman. 'Cause I was just like, why is Aquaman here? I don't understand what Aquaman is supposed to be doing. But it was the fact that when Aquaman, showed up, of course, in the Justice League movie, of course they had him in in the other movie prior, Batman v Superman. He was in that brief scene for Batman v Superman. And I wasn't, other than the fact that Jason Momoa played him and he looked really intimidating as Aquaman, I really still wasn't impressed. It wasn't until I started seeing the trailers to Aquaman, I was just like, wait a minute, they may be on to something here. Like, this is the first time Aquaman's really been cool. Other than when he was in Blackest Night, he was Black Lantern Aquaman. He was calling up zombie sharks. But that's a whole other issue. Mammoth Rock, I really didn't either. The only part of Batman v Superman that I liked, to be honest, was when Wonder Woman showed up. If it hadn't been for that, that movie would have been 100% trash to me. If Wonder Woman hadn't shown up when she did, it would have been bad. Venom was great. And I'll tell you why Venom is great. Venom took itself seriously enough to be a good movie, but not so serious that they didn't mess with the character. Of course, I think it was interesting that with Venom, a lot of people complain about, oh, well, it should have been tied to Spider-Man. He should have had the spider emblem. He should have had, and I'm going, well, legally they couldn't do it. So you're complaining about a non sequitur. You really are. It's like, I understand why you're saying he should have been there, but the fact remains, you can't have a character there that's not allowed to be there. So, sorry, but that's just the reality at the time. They couldn't have him come in and be and with the spider suit and all that. They had to do the thing without it because of the fact of the way the whole, Sony and Marvel thing worked, But I do think before it's all over and done with, I do think we're going to see Spider-Man and Venom in a Spider-Man movie at some point. I think that maybe when we get this, Sony, of course, worked out their deal with Marvel to where they could do another Spider-Man movie and another Marvel movie. I think Sony may have found a way to sneak Venom into the Marvel universe. So I think that may be part of the reason why they decided we're gonna let them do this, but we want Venom in your world too. So I think it'll be interesting if that's the case. I would love to see symbiotes in the regular Marvel universe. I think that'd be neat. I'll say this right now, Jingles. My favorite part of the movie was honestly the Stan Lee cameo. Because when the Stan Lee cameo happened, Stan looks at Eddie Brock. He says, you two take care of her. Don't let anything bad happen to her. And he goes around, he says, either of you. And so it's like this moment where Stan Lee is just in on the whole thing. Like, he's just kind of talking about it, but he's just like, yep, I know there's two of you. So I thought that was kind of cool that they played it that way. I loved the Venom movie for the interactions. I wasn't a fan of Venom saying that he was a loser just like Eddie was, because I don't remember there ever being a time in the comics where Venom would have described himself as a loser. That said, hey, if that's what they wanted to convey for that character, okay, I get it. I wasn't a big fan of that particular interaction because for Venom to basically say, I'm a loser like you, that's why I'm here, I'm a runt. I'm kind of a run of the litter, and that's why I'm here. I kind of felt like it would have been better if they had just done it as, I am a symbiote, and you need me, and I need you to live, and so this is what we're doing. So I think that would have been awesome had they done it that way instead. So that was my only complaint, really. Jingles, if we can get the technology together, I would love that, man. That would be great. Just have like a one-off geek out something. Just call it Geek Out. The journeys of two geeks that love geeky stuff. I would enjoy that quite a bit. Funny fact, since we're doing the Joker, since I'm drawing the Joker, yes, Mammoth Rock, Stan Lee was a creative genius, and Stan Lee, the thing I love about Stan Lee, besides the fact that that he created these characters was that he, not only did he create the characters that would become what we have in this modern mythos and stuff, but it's the fact that he created these characters and he had help, and he wasn't ashamed to say, like, yeah, Jack Kirby and all these other people, Joe Shuster and all these other people were around to help me do this. So I thought that was really cool. I think Stan, as far as a person, man, he, and I know there was this big controversy because his daughter came out and said, Marvel wasn't there for my dad, and all this other stuff. When all this stuff went down, a lot of people don't realize, Stan had sold his shares to Marvel. And so, they kept him as the kind of the executor of the account, but, in all reality, he didn't have a whole lot on it. And so that was sad because I was kind of like, for the man to help create the world, to now not be able to take credit in it. But then they worked out, the deal where they were like, we're going to go ahead and do what we can to help him out by letting him be in all these movies and all these cameos. Which, and then even to have him be the Watcher in these cameos is really kind of cool. I thought that was really neat as well. But yeah, I miss that level of a creative type in the world, and I just don't think the world will be the same without him. But Venom was good. Venom was good. I love Venom. I enjoyed it. I hope that we get a really good sequel to Venom. I know they're talking about doing it, of course, with Carnage, with Woody Harrelson as Carnage, and all this stuff. So that ought to be interesting, because if anybody can play Homicidal Maniac, I don't know anybody who can play it better than Woody Harrelson can. So I think that'll be interesting. So, be interested to see Woody Harrelson as Carnage and see what they do with it, especially if they get Spider-Man into either way. If Spider-Man ends up in the Sony movies, vice versa. Mammoth Rock, I'll tell you a story. I'll tell you another one, and I'm not afraid to admit this. I cried so much in the scene of Enter the Spider-Verse, where the animated Stan Lee is looking at Miles Morales. He says, I knew him, And Miles looks at him and he says, will the costume fit? And then Stan says to him, he says, well, it'll fit eventually. It always fits eventually. And I bawled like a baby, because I was just like, here he is literally talking to something that his creation inspired. And he's literally telling the mythos of Spider-Man and the fact that the hero's journey isn't an easy journey. But oh my gosh, when he did that line, I bawled, because I was just sitting there going, he's literally talking to the creation and saying the costume will eventually fit. And, even Miles, the whole time talking about, can I be the hero? Can I do what I need to do? Can I be the hero? Can I do this? How am I going to become the hero? How am I going to save not only my world, but how am I going to save these other characters? Because you got to remember, all these other Spider-Man show up in it. And so he's trying to save them, but he's also trying to get a handle on this stuff that they're already aware of. Most of them are already aware of their abilities. He's not really aware of his yet. So he's just trying to figure out how to be the hero that they need. The 90s Spider-Man was awesome. I actually got DVD. I got the newer Spider-Man. It was a Spectacular Spider-Man that Marvel did back in the early 2000s, I think. It was really cool. I like the character designs of it. But yeah, that 90s Spider-Man, that was probably one of the best versions of the Venom story that I'd seen ever. The whole black suit Spider-Man and all that stuff. And it went into Peter with the suit and all that, and him and Eddie eventually getting it. And it was pretty crazy. So that 90s cartoon was a great show. And it really helped, I think, solidify the character. Spectacular I like because I love the character designs. Sean Galloway, or Sean Cheeks Galloway, if you know the artist. I followed him on DeviantArt for years, and then one year at a con in Dallas, I got to meet him. So I actually still own one of his sketchbooks, but he was actually the character designer for the Spectacular Spider-Man, and so a lot of the and he does such a good job with the iconic villains like Doctor Octopus and Vulture, and they look like themselves, and it's really cool. And I'm glad that he got to do that. I think that's really cool. So, 90s Spider-Man was a great series. I loved it. I love Spectacular as well. So it would always be a special place, like I said, just because of the way the character designs were done. So, the "We Are Venom" thing, I think, was the coolest part. You know, whenever Venom would speak, it would always be "We are Venom." You know, and it was always the plural of it. So I thought that was always cool. It was never a situation where he was speaking to the, he wasn't, Venom was never going to be singular. Well, the lucky thing about owning Spectacular is I actually own the whole series, because they just did like one big box set of it. They later, I think Target later released a bunch of the single ones for like $5 a piece, but they were selling the whole series for like 20. So I was just like, I was at a con last year and I found somebody who was selling it for like $4. I was like, wait, I can get the whole series for $4? I think I'll do that, please. So that's kind of where that came in from. So, in a lot of the pictures that I've seen of the Joker in this movie, it's not that his eyes are black, but that when he puts on the makeup, you really don't see his eyes. So in all the pictures, it looks like his eyes are kind of blacked out. So I'm definitely going to kind of do some shading around there. Pick some of that up. Tighten up the smile some now. So I've been doing Batman for Inktober, for y'all who didn't know. And so anyway, as I said earlier, there's a contest I'll announce here in a little bit, just as soon as I get done with this picture. And I'll advise on how that will work. It's kind of going to work like last year's comment contest will work. So it's not that hard to figure. Alright, so now that I've got that done, there's my Joker. Trying to see if I need to do any touch-ups on that. Well, no, I'm going to go ahead and do some shading. That's what I'm going to do. I left it white, of course, because his face is white in the thing. So we're going to do some shading around the eyes, primarily. Like I said, you really don't see his eyes in the makeup. I guess because whenever the makeup's on, it kind of recesses everything. Because he's wearing like white makeup. Well, that'll be awesome. I appreciate you catching up on those videos. Been working hard on them. A lot of them, I don't talk on a whole lot of them just because by the time I get off of work, it is very difficult to sit down and do a full-blown, because I'm only doing about a minute video each. And so trying to talk even as fast as I can speak in a minute, I don't want to run over stuff. So sometimes it's just more like, these are facts about the people. And I'm typing them out on the thing because that's quicker and easier for me to do. So that's what I've been doing for a lot of it. It'll probably be early in the week. I'll do a list of the rest of them so that way people can see what characters are coming. I started off kind of with Batman's family, and then eventually we'll go and do the Rogues. The Joker in the Arkham games is really good. I like the Arkham games. I think my favorite Scarecrow is also from the Arkham games as well. It's because he has the whole crazy gas mask thing going on when he's doing his thing, and it's just creepy. He's got the poison, and he's got the gas mask, and it's just nuts. Sorry about this, guys. Hang on just a second. Little cough there. In the land of Kentucky, it's gotten a little colder. So it's like I literally, since yesterday, started developing a cough. So I don't want to cough in you guys' ears. So if I cough a little bit too much, I'm just sorry about that. But the Arkham games, I think, really work well for a lot of the bad guys in the Batman universe, and especially, like I said, Scarecrow. I mean, Deathstroke, Red Hood. I mean, creating the whole Arkham Knight thing. I'll be fine, man. Like I said, it's a cough right now, so that's mainly what I've been dealing with. Okay, so let me announce the contest. So, in each video that I do, last year I did it where I would do a random number generator. This year I'm not going to do it that way. I feel like somebody does like one comment and then it's in there, and so it's going to be real simple. That's Batman Animated Series Volume 1. Okay, so I'm going to turn it kind of sideways so you can see them. I may be a little bit too close. So that's Batman Animated Series Volume 1. Actually, that was Volume... Okay, sorry. This is Volume 1. That's Volume 2. And then this is 2 of the Batman movies. So this is Batman Sub-Zero and Batman Beyond the movie. And so this is all the prize pack. So it's real simple. Every video that has a comment by a person on it, I will count that as one vote towards them winning it. At the end of October, I'll go through and do a count of each comment. And if you have the most comments in the Inktober videos and they're in a playlist, I'll make sure once I edit this, I'll make sure to put the playlist in as well. So when they go into that playlist, then what will happen is that you can go back and watch them, put comments in as many of the videos as you want, because the more comments, of course, are going to get more votes. So each comment counts as one. I mean, don't spam it. Don't be goofy. But just comment proper. If you like the video, something about it. If you have a favorite Batman character you want to see drawn while I'm drawing these, let me know. Put those in the comments as well. But basically, yeah. So your comments, I appreciate that, Jingles. But I try to do good on my prize packs, man. I don't try to do skimpy prizes whenever I'm trying to do these comment contests like that. Because that's the thing. I want to be able to interact with people. I really do. I want to be able to interact with each and every one of the people that are involved in this channel. As you guys share this channel out and different things like that, I want to be able to interact with people. If people comment, I want to try to get, if I'm at work, of course, I can't comment back necessarily, but as soon as I get home and I see a comment, I'm going to get in there and I'll be like, okay, hey, appreciate you checking out the video, or hey, how you doing, or what you like most, something like that. I always try to interact. And so I just want to put the stakes up a little bit to try to make sure that people will actually put in good comments so that way I can count votes. So I appreciate that, Jingles. I really do. Like I said, share it with your friends. If you know people that are into the land of art and such, and share it with them. Let them know about it. That's what I appreciate greatly. But anyway, that's it. So it's each comment in each video will get counted as a vote. So at the end of the month, when I go through all the videos, I'll count the total videos. If there ends up being a tie, I'll break it with a random generator at that point based on the amount of comments. So like if you get let's say 10 comments a video and one person comments, so much in each video, let's say there's a 5-way tie, then we'll do the random generator for that tie. But other than that, that's it. I thank you guys for joining me on the live stream. I'm going to jump out because I am going to get ready for Hell in a Cell. Of course, they're doing a pre-match with Natty and Lacey Evans. And so, anyway, there you go. So, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I greatly appreciate it. I hope above all else that you guys will go back and look at those videos. I'll start posting up the next set of videos. I did one today that had 2 characters because I missed yesterday. But, so there's 2 characters there. There's days 5 and 6 in that one. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoy the videos and keep rocking with me. Thank you guys so much. And above all else, be blessed and be a blessing, guys. I am out until the next one. Take care.